Good morning, this is Angela with Parkrose Permaculture. Happy Saturday morning to you all. I'm on my way down to the chicken run, and I thought I'd just talk a little bit with y'all about a few upcoming projects I have in the works, as well as just some thoughts on this beautiful February morning. So we have a wood stove, and you can check out my video here on that wood stove. And one of the byproducts of using a wood stove is that you get a lot of ash. And I have an old kettle that was my grandmother's cast iron, and I use that to collect all my wood ash. So in permaculture, we have 12 principles, and one of those is produce no waste. And the other one is, one of the other ones is the third permaculture principle, I believe, is obtain a yield. And those meld really nicely together because a lot of times you can turn a waste product into a resource and take something that would be garbage or unusable or an inconvenience and turn it into a yield. So you can't put your wood ash in the yard waste bin, and you shouldn't put it in the garbage. And it is a byproduct or waste of burning wood. But obviously there's lots out there on all of the ways you can use wood ash in the garden. And I use it a whole lot of ways, especially on my plants that like a sweeter soil, because we have a very acidic soil here. But this morning I'm going to use it in my chicken run, and let's walk down there and talk about it. Watch out, Athena. So I made an update to my Patreon page this morning, and I'm gonna make a concerted effort to have regular Patreon posts for my members. So thank you to everybody that already is a member. And I just want to let you know I haven't forgotten you. Life has been really hectic, and I'm going to be really a lot more diligent about making member-only content. So let me open this gate here. I've been doing a lot of mulching and preparing to plant things, and I've been doing some work here the last 2 days in this part of the run. So the chickens have access to this a lot of the year, but not right now. I'm going to be moving this Juneberry here. It's right where originally I thought it was a good spot for it, but it's really become part of the walkway. This originally was a bed, but I find that myself and my kids and the chickens actually want to use this trajectory here as a path. And that's one of the things I really love about permaculture, is that you can switch things up. Permaculture is about designing to fit the needs of your system. It's one of the reasons I don't use a lot of raised beds out of wood or permanent structures that I can't change, because what I find is that over time you may find your needs changing, and it's okay to move things around and change your design as the system matures, as you as a human being find your needs or physical limitations or desires change. You can move things. So I'm going to move this Juneberry. She's going to go over here by these sea buckthorn and out of what is now a path. So let's keep going down here. My the freeze caused this with an old broken chair, and I was using it as an ad hoc kind of beginning of a trellis, so I could start training this new rambling rose. Strawberry Fields. I can never get the name right. It's a David Austin rose. I'll put the link to it in the description. I'm trying to make my chicken coop a little bit more friendly to the neighbors who can see it over the fence, and so I want to have this cascade of rose blossoms over it. I already have a Concord grape. Please don't look at how I haven't finished pruning it yet. I'm going to get to that this weekend. But I want to have that cascade of roses up over the top, adding some extra beauty to the yard. Neighbor dog's barking, so my dogs are going to get real excited. So I'm gonna have a real trellis here, but when I planted it, I just stuck this old broken chair here and it's really gone to pot in the winter. That's okay. You can really see the difference in the part of the chicken run where I've kept the birds out and where they are free ranging. They just really scratch and turn everything into really rapidly broken down soil. So you can see only the larger pieces of prunings remain unbroken down, and basically everything else has been turned over. So soon this area will get a fresh load of wood chips, but in the interim, hello, I see you, honey bun. In the interim, I want to make sure that the chickens have access to good dust bathing material. So because it's so muddy in Oregon this time of year, there really is kind of a shortage of places for the chickens to get good dust bathing. So I always use my wood ash. Hello, ladies. And I put it down because they really love to dust bathe in it, and that helps them get those chicken lice or other insects dealt with. Dust bathing is how chickens clean their feathers, while obviously my ducks are going to take a real bath in water. So if you don't know how to use up your wood chips and you want to turn that waste into a resource and get a yield of free material for your chickens to deparasite themselves, wood ash is a great solution. Put it down here and they will love dust bathing. Particularly at this time of year where things are pretty darn muddy, I want to make sure that I'm giving them ample material in which to dust bathe, and then it uses up a waste product for me. And the chickens will actually do a great job of spreading it fairly evenly around that part of the chicken run. And so they kind of do the work of moving it around. And again, because my soil is so acidic, it doesn't really matter for me that I'm dumping a whole lot of high pH material in one spot. I also, again, do put it around a lot of my plants and very small quantities around the garden. But that's definitely one way to use up your wood ash and turn it into a product that helps your chickens stay healthy. So I also wanted to say that I'm working on some upcoming videos on a number of topics. I've been doing quite a bit of research on trauma-informed communication and relationships, and I really want to make a video about using empathy in permaculture and how that can make us better and more resilient communities and better and more resilient agriculturalists. So that's upcoming. I just want to do my due diligence and do quite a bit of reading first. I also have a video coming up in the next few days about one of my favorite underutilized nitrogen fixers for shady locations on your property. So that's coming up really soon. So I hope y'all tune back in. Again, working on gussying up my Patreon and trying to make sure I do a good job of creating content for my patrons. So thank you if you already are a patron. Please consider either throwing some money at my PayPal or becoming a patron and help support the work that I do here so that I can keep making videos for y'all. And again, if you have subjects you want me to cover, please let me know. I want to talk about what y'all are interested in. So all right, well, I'm going to go take my ash bucket back in the house and feed the fire. Hope you have a lovely rest of your weekend.